a bit weird if I'm here.
No, not at all. So I guess I'll begin.
Yeah, talking to the guy.
Thanks everyone for coming. My name is Shiga, and I'm a cartoonist. I've been doing this for about 12 years now, and I thought I would show you some of the comics that I've been working on over the years. This one was actually my very first comic that I made about 12 years ago, and the idea is it's a little different from your typical comic in that it's basically one giant sheet of 11 by 17 piece of paper cut and folded up into this weird little package. And the basic idea is you unfold the comic to get to the next panel. There's a little arrow here. And then as you're unfolding, you get to these choice panels, and you can choose how you want to unfold the comic. So for example, your first choice is whether you want to eat the Brussels sprout, or if you go this way, you try to think of a way to avoid eating the Brussels sprout.
You might want to come up closer if you want to get a look at this, or we can shove the table up a little bit or something, or you can just share it later or something, right?
Yeah. So this table will be here afterwards, and you can come take a look at all of these comics. But yeah, anyways, that leads to more choices, and keep scratching. And let's see, after that, this was my next comic. It had the same basic idea, which was you get to make choices as you read the story. But the mechanism for this one worked a little differently, which is you would basically follow the story through holes cut in the pages. And the way you read, it would just kind of twist around, and then eventually you just keep reading the story through these holes, and then at certain points you would get to make a choice again. So for example, the first choice in this book is whether you want to give this dog some food, or you can hit him on the head with a giant mallet. So, I wish I brought it, but I had another comic that I didn't bring, which was basically a giant piece of paper. It was basically 3 11 by 17 pieces of paper taped together, and it was basically one big maze, but I don't have it here, so.
11 by 17 is your favorite size to work with?
It's the biggest size a copy machine can handle. But my next experiment was sort of weird. I wouldn't even call this one a comic, really. But I wanted to make a calculator out of paper, and then sneak it into my physics exam or something. So the idea is you're basically reading, and then you follow these tubes, and these tubes split off, and you can choose the first number. If you choose a 1, it goes to this 1, and then you keep following down. If you choose a 0, you get to this panel here that says flip.
Are people following this that are celebrating 420? Is this like working? Or are you getting totally lost in the tube tunnels?
So if you flip it, you get to a 0, and then you get another choice, and then basically it keeps branching, and the calculator has a few limitations. One is you can only add 2 numbers, and the other limitation is the only 2 numbers you can add are 1 and 0.
Now, am I right? You were a math major? Is that what your undergrad?
I was a math major.
And the kind of what I was thinking about that, I was looking at what you do. It's almost like chess or something. It's just like infinite, or not infinite. It's just finite possibilities being played out in a way.
If you think about it, there's basically only 4 ways to add 0 and 1. Yeah, I mean, yeah, in a way, it's just a trivial problem.
Actually, can you explain how you for 4 ways to have 0 and 1?
There's 0 plus 0, 0 plus 1, 1 plus 0, and 1 plus 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I understand now.
Yeah, so in a way, it's kind of a trivial problem. Like I could have just like cut to the chase and had the whole thing like branch out into into 4 possibilities from the get-go. But this one actually this one is weird because if you actually add 2 1s, it actually has to carry a digit over. I forgot to tell you the answer was displayed in binary as well. So if you actually add 1 and 1, what you get is 10, or what looks like 10, but is actually 2. Anyways.
I'm sober and I totally don't understand anything anymore.
Oh gosh, I should have told you about that one later. But I'll come back to this. But I had another idea. This one was kind of weird, but I had an idea of making a comic with movable parts, with moving parts, with moving wheels. I'll show you how this one works in a second. But basically, the way this one works is the panels of the comic are actually printed behind this window, and to get to the next panel in the story, you take a chopstick.
You have to be Asian to understand this.
You take a chopstick. I don't know if anyone can see this, but you basically push it through the slot, and that advances to the next panel. And the panel tells you which slot to perform the operation on. So this one says A. You stick it in there, and you can see it's slowly advancing the wheels underneath. And I'll show you how this one works. I'll take this apart real quick. But if you look underneath these pieces of paper, there's actually 5 wheels here. There's slots cut into each wheel, and the slots are actually at an angle. So when you push down on one of the outer slots, radially from the center, it actually pushes the wheel forward. And if you keep doing this long enough, you actually push the wheel until it gets to a window. At that point, you can't advance the wheel anymore because the slots are big enough that they're not actually pushing anything. So at that point, you're just pushing the wheel behind it. Anyways, it kept going. The whole thing came 5 wheels down, and I made a.
Have you tried doing? Have you made it? You have to like get like a die cut for all these things, pretty much, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was actually ultimately a failed experiment because, well, number one, because it would be extremely laborious to mass produce. I basically only made the one, and the second reason is actually there was a lot of friction between the wheels. They kept jamming and sticking. But I made a little like map of the entire story. It's color-coded, so in different branches of the story, there's actually sequences of panels that are repeated. But you can come up here and take a look afterwards and play with this. Hold on a minute. So getting back to the adding or the adding machine, the half adder. I want it successfully making the paper calculator gave me the confidence to tackle my next project, which was a fully programmable paper computer. And I got the idea because if you look at this thing, basically all the movable parts are just flaps of paper, And it gave me the idea, flaps of paper are just pages. For my next project, I actually bisected this book, and this bottom tier of the book is basically the store of the computer. And the premise is pretty simple, which is you, as the reader, get to code a very, very simple 3-line program. And each of these lines are represented by objects. There's a stick of butter, a $2 bill, a gun, a $1 bill, and a bottle of booze. And you get to pick one of these objects, you get to pick one of these objects and pack it into the suitcase in whichever order you like. And then your kid actually walks out of the house and starts pulling the items out of the suitcase in reverse order that you put them in. And each object has a specific function. So I'll do a very quick run through of one of the adventures here.
I also should say that when I ran into you the other day on the street, you said, "I'm going to do my Carrot Top set." Really, I had some other thing in mind as far as props.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Oh, no.
So, basically, the page numbers on the top are in squares. The page numbers on the bottom are in circles. And each page number points to a panel of the story, and then each panel points to the next page number. So, for this...
That didn't help.
So in this adventure, it begins in the house. Then it says go to page 17.
Okay, so we go to 17.
And then
It's your sister's birthday today.
And you go to 18.
I'm going to bake a cake for her, but I need your help.
And you go to page 6, but look, the 6 is in a circle, so you actually go to 6 down here.
Okay. Okay, what am I doing? Okay.
I have an empty suitcase in 6.
And then you follow it up. You
To
go
19,
page
so this goes to the next page. I have to watch the stove, so I need you to go to the store and buy 3 sticks of butter. And then we go to 20, and cute little guy. I will give you 3 items to take on your journey.
Okay, then you go to 30.
Oh, 30, not 21. Okay.
Hold on.
You know where it is. Okay, it's coming. Okay, so now we have a choice at this point to choose booze, a $1 bill, a gun, or a $2 bill. What should we take? Who wants the gun? Who wants the $2 bill? Who wants the booze? I think booze is what we're talking about. I didn't really bother with the $1 bill. You don't want the $2 bill? Why would you want the $1 bill?
Okay, I think
Okay,
booze is
13.
most popular, but notice the 13's in a circle.
So it goes down here. Oh, not. 13. Okay, we're at 13.
Then you go to 34.
34. Okay. Here's a bottle. You can use it as a weapon. And then go to 38 on this page. So 37, 38.
So, well, I guess you get the idea. So basically, you keep filling up the suitcase here. Anyways, my next project after that was called Knock Knock. Hold on. So I guess one of the problems with making
Is the effects channel on?
I don't think so.
anyways, one of the problems with making choose your own adventure type comics is basically the story keeps branching and branching and branching. One of the brain teasers I like to give audiences is, I would say, George,
Yeah.
if you have a piece of paper and you folded it in half, and then you folded it in half again, and then you kept folding it in half, and you did this 50 times, how thick would this would the final result be in your estimation?
I don't know, like that thick?
No. Bigger. This piece of paper would actually extend from the Earth to the Sun.
So if I was a kid, you would tell me that. And
I would.
Okay.
And then, as a kid, you'd be like, oh my God.
No, it is impressive. One piece, like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper?
Yeah, just a sheet
Oh,
of paper.
Didn't matter what, if it's cardstock, it'd be even past the sun. Yeah.
No, it'd probably be like,
Jupiter.
like 400 But anyways,
And then what book did you do after Hello World? And this is a prototype? Is that the prototype for it?
no, that's
That's
the
the
final
one. That's the
one
one.
that
The
I'll
final
sell.
one you did. Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, I bring up this brain teaser because to illustrate a point, which is in Choose Your Own Adventure books,
Yeah.
usually there's a choice at the end of the first page, and then there's a there's a second page, and there's another choice there. But if you were to make a story where the average length or the length of every average story was 50 pages, this book would essentially have to stretch from the Earth to the Sun. So that's one of the problems with making Choose Your Own Adventure books. And my next one was I sort of built as a challenge to sort of butt up against the upper limits of how big you can make a book. This is actually the thickest tape bind that the copy store offers, and it's 500 pages. And the idea behind this book is, at the end of every page, you get to make one of about a dozen different choices.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's sort of like every object in here has a page number attached to it.
Exactly. So if you want to watch TV, you turn to page 6.
Okay.
But if you want to go out the window,
I want to watch TV. Page 6.
Okay.
Oh, and there's you turn the TV on.
Yeah, and then
The search continues for the Wednesday night killer. Will he strike again tonight? What the fuck? Stay tuned.
oh, by the way, there's someone knocking on the door. Do you want to open it?
I don't think so, not after that. What do I do to not open the door? Just give him a different object?
I don't know. You can look at the calendar.
I'm going to turn the light off so that I'm going to turn the light off so that they don't think I'm home.
Okay.
So page 29.
Go to page 29.
Wednesday night killer.
Okay, so you turn the light.
Did you understand what's going on? Did you like diagram it for me?
I quite enjoyed that movie. I like that scene when she was drawing the labyrinth. This is the final flow chart for Meanwhile. And after I did that, I actually made a dummy copy of the book. So this is the Meanwhile book. If you look, it has the same number of pages, it has the same number of tabs as the final book. But if you actually open it up, you'll see all that's inside are just pathways. There's no art or panels or anything. But I had to make this to just get my mind around the structure of how the whole book would turn out. So after I made this dummy book, I actually made the thumbnails for the comic. These are some of the thumbnails right here. I don't know if anyone here is a cartoonist, but thumbnails are usually the first step in making a comic book. But for this one, there's about 6 months of prep work before I could even do the thumbnails.
But you had a concept of what some of the storylines were going to be, even though you were just diagramming out what all the options option too, right?
Yes. Let's see. This is actually the finished mini comic. So if you look, there's tabs on the side. I'll show you how this works really quickly. But basically, I sort of recycled a lot of elements from my previous interactive comics. There's these tubes here, which you might recognize from the adding machine. And you follow these tubes around. And then your first choice in the story is whether you want vanilla or chocolate ice cream. And each choice takes you off the page onto a tab, and then you turn to that tab page, and then you follow the story from there. I finished this comic about 10 years ago, and in those 10 years I made about 1,000 of these by hand. I just photocopied them at a copy store, cut out all these tabs by hand.
Paid my copy?
Awesome.
Paid my copy.
And
They just moved.
yes, remodel.
Remodel. Did you get sponsorship from them? Did you get sponsorship?
I should.
Yeah.
Long story short, this is the finished book, and it just came out last year.
And who published that?
Abrams.
Okay. Wow. And you also were doing strips in a newspaper for a while? Or it was a while ago, maybe.
That's right. I've done a lot of strips for like local newspapers, like Asian Week and Examiner, Youth Outlook, and Nickelodeon Magazine.
And we were just talking about the Nickelodeon magazine job because you were doing like this stuff, but like with like the SpongeBob characters, and you're drawing it or everything, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did like an interactive adventure with SpongeBob SquarePants, and then I did another interactive adventure with the Fairly Odd Parents. I don't know if anyone here is a fan of Nickelodeon magazine, but they actually have an excellent comic book section within the magazine. It was edited by Chris Duffy, who's a big fan of alternative comics. So he actually brought tons of alternative cartoonists into this really mainstream magazine. Like Art Spiegelman and Harry Thompson, Charles, like all these.
It's for kids. It's a kids magazine. Yeah.
Yeah, but just introducing children to like these weird underground cartoonists. Yeah, it was a really great experience to work for them.
So, do you bring copies of your book for later? People can check those out. You can check out everything on the table.
Unfortunately, I didn't bring any copies to sell, but you're welcome to come look at these on the table.
And you got a website too for all your artwork, right?
Yes.
Okay. Jason Shiga, thanks for.
Help Jason take us off, but coming up next on the show is comedian Chris Thayer. Give it up for Chris.